Well, we can't wait any longer. We should begin the experiment.
With no porters, no assistants. This endeavor's been a farce from the start, Revis. Now it's a doomed one.
Revis and Tyrius? What's up? Tyrius first.
Yet another inferior intellect bumbles into Veyond. You're in good company with Revis around.
Uh-huh.
Well, here's a turn of luck. It's me, Revis. You helped me out of a scrape in Nisus some time back, remember? Quamamine, tonal resonator, devoured bard. Good times.
Yeah,
Anyway,
right.
Here we go again. You, me, and an experiment going poorly.
Okay, what experiment are you conducting out here now?
My pupil Tyrus and I plan to test my most recent invention, the Phantasmal sensor. It's a device that quiets unruly ghosts. Or it should. Honestly, this is sort of a proof of concept. But don't let that worry you. The fundamentals are rock solid.
What do you need?
Oh, nothing too strenuous. Just need a bit of help with final preparations. Lifting the odd box, calibrating a few apparatuses, warding off any murderous undead. Standard field work.
What was that last one?
Compensate you, of course. So, care to join us? Please?
Yeah, I'll help you conduct your experiment then.
Oh, I'm so relieved you agreed to help. Before you arrived, I feared my overseers at House Telvanni really might... No matter. Tyrus and I already set up a small field laboratory in the ruined Veyond. Meet us inside and we'll get started.
Can you tell me more about those phantasmal sensor?
Certainly. It's a wedding of Barrelzar's theories on the interactions of tonal and spectral forces with a resonance housing of my own design. Activating it should render any ghosts in proximity completely mute. A clever bit of engineering, I suppose.
Don't sound very excited about it.
What? No, I'm extremely excited about it. My superiors in Tel Naga called it a product of minor interest. Believe me when I say that's as robust an endorsement as I'm ever likely to earn. If the Telvanni Council thinks it's worthwhile, so do I.
Tell me about your pupil.
Tyrus is a junior oathman of House Telvanni. At this point in his education, he's obliged to accompany a spellwright like myself on a few field excursions. Sort of an apprenticeship. Honestly, in his case, it's just a formality.
What do you mean?
Tyrus is an incredible talent, of the sort that only appears once in a generation. What's more, his family is extremely well connected. He lives the Telvanni creed effortlessly. I wager he'll be Archmagister one day.
What do you think of House Telvanni then?
Really putting me on the spot, aren't you? There are aspects of Telvanni culture I find abhorrent. The practice of slavery being chief among them.
Yep.
We do what we can. When the only alternative is exile, it's complicated.
I kind of get it, but yeah, it's you want to have the recognition for something you view as being like the major house and research area of your culture, but kind of hard pill to swallow with Telvanni. Why conducting the experiment Veyond?
When you're on a mission to quiet down restless ghosts, you go where the restless ghosts are. Angry spirits pile up in these Ayleid ruins like weevils in a hollow log. Feck only knows why. I've never taken much interest in Ayleid history.
You couldn't find a restless ghost in your homeland?
In Morrowind? Ha, I wouldn't think of it. Silencing an ancestor is blasphemous, even if some of them deserve it. My Aunt Cernsea can't let a visitation go by without complaining about her urn. We know you wanted purple. Get over it already, right?
Taking assistance from random passers-by. The magisters of the house will most certainly have opinions on this.
We're not random.
This is easily the most important experiment in Revis's unremarkable career, and he's soliciting aid from random passers-by. Of course he is. It would be depressing if it wasn't so predictable.
Tell me about yourself then.
I am Tyrus Terethi, firstborn son of Fothis Terethi, and adopted nephew to Magister Thorana of Telbranora. I can tell by your vacant expression you're not well acquainted with the current affairs of House Telvanni. No great surprise there.
Well, actually, I did some work for House Telvanni.
I see. Some minor errand, I assume. The house does not make a habit of employing imbeciles. You must have some talent. I take some comfort in that.
What brings you to Blackwood?
I often ask myself the same thing. The Telvanni Council insists that prodigies such as I leave Morrowind for a time to experience whatever this is. It makes us more worldly, I suppose. An insufferable waste of time, if you ask me.
You're here to study with the Revis, right?
That's a charitable way to put it. Technically, I am Revis's student, but he's taught me very little beyond how to fumble aimlessly from one disaster to another. I can't wait for this to be over.
May disarray turn away. The ground shakes, the sky quakes. Forcer ablaze, darkness falls, the chaos spreads, betrayal fills the days. May disaster turn us away from us. Send your earthquakes to our neighbors. May death and destruction pass us by. Let the fire fill another chamber. Storms strike from distant clouds, infernos rage, death in masses. Black looms, discord ahead. Betrayal like swords, blade flashes. When open wide the gates of oblivion. May disaster turn away from us. Send earthquakes to our neighbors. May death and destruction pass us by. Let fires flood fill another chamber. Lord of destruction, prince of disaster, give our people their space. God of bloodshed, king of betrayal, go visit your troubles to some other place. May disaster turn away from us. Send earthquakes to our neighbors. May death and destruction pass us by. Let fire and flood fill another's chambers. Else? Nope. All right, into the ruins we go. I think. There it is. Oh, it's up there. Silly me. Actually, have to go up and around. Into the great Veyond. Veyond is a large alien ruin northeast of Leywin. Pretty straightforward area.
To think of it, Revis, a crumbling ruin is an apt place for your final experiment with House Telvanni.
Final experiment?
Finally, we can get started. There's a lot riding on this experiment's success. So yes, let's all stay focused and diligent. And also very, very careful.
What do you need me to do?
I need you to paint some stabilizing runes around the area to reinforce the sensor's magics. They're not all that elaborate, I promise. But do be mindful. I'm not leaving anything to chance this time.
Okay, how do I paint the runes?
Here are the materials in a template. I infused the paint with ground soul gems to reinforce the rune's potency. At great personal expense, I might add. Right, Tyrus? There's no price too high for success. Try not to use it all right?
Okay. What will you and Tyrus do while I'm gone?
I have a few more calibrations to attend to. As for Tyrus, he'll probably, observe. For educational purposes. You can speak with him if you have any other questions. Set guide you, my friend.
Alright. Okay. Let's get to painting those runes, huh?
Remember, precision is of the utmost importance, so no loafing or dawdling, you. I'm sorry. We're supposed to use harsh declaratives like that to motivate people. Are you? Yeah, I can tell you're motivated. Great. That's great.
Really motivated, yes. So what are these runes for again?
The housing I created for the Phantasmal sensor should contain the energies it releases well enough. I employed a fascinating helical boring technique invented by the dwarves of Arkingthand. I have all sorts of ideas for... Sorry. that can wait.
So about these runes?
Right, sorry. The runes provide a stabilizing aura to prevent any real spectacular tonal reactions or spectral anomalies. I triple-checked every aspect of the experiment, but a mage can never be too careful. Especially if that mage is me.
So have your methods improved since the disaster in Guinness?
Oh, definitely. I learned a lot from that Kwama business. Now safety is my chief priority. There might be some bumps along the way, of course, but like the old wizards say, in the mountains of magical praxis, one never climbs in vain. Remember. Right, sorry.
Difficulties?
Difficulties? Ha, no, certainly not. I just place great emphasis on safety. Sure, there have been a few bumps along the way, but like the old wizards say...
Yep. Curious?
Soul gem-infused runes slathered on alien walls. The poor condition of the stone combined with imprecise template virtually guarantees a lack of efficacy. What is Revis, an amateur? What am I saying? Of course he is.
So you don't think it's doing his work? You don't think that what Revis is doing will work?
Finally, someone else makes an astute observation. Congratulations, you've just become the second smartest person in the room. The runes Revis once painted will have, at most, a negligible impact. They're essentially just expensive vandalism.
So he's not your teacher. Why aren't you talking about this?
Don't be thick. I have nothing to learn from the likes of Revis Demnevani. This is a mere formality. When I ascend to the council, I will make weeding out hedge mages like Revis my first priority.
Do other Telvanni mages share your opinion of Revis?
Oh, yes. Revis knows where he stands with the Telvanni Council. On a precipice. And after today's nonsense, he will finally fall off.
Okay. All right, one made. Two. Down over here for number 3, right? Back up, time to talk to Revis.
Ah, welcome back. The runes are in place, right? I'm anxious to begin the experiment.
Yep, I painted all the runes. What's next?
Excellent. By the 3, can I just tell you how refreshing it is to hear a voice of support? Thank you. Now, the next step is a bit more complicated. I need you to assist me with a Phantasmal Sensor's Kindling sequence.
Okay, how do we do that?
These magical pylons provide the key. Fair warning, they can be a bit unruly, but the fundamentals are sound. Spectral energy will pass between them freely, but sometimes the crystals dislodge. If that happens, I need you to reattune them.
Okay, how will I know which pylon needs to be attuned?
Just pay attention to the energies flowing between them. If no spectral motes pass through one of the pylons, you'll know that's the one that needs fixing. I should warn you, if you try to attune a functional pylon, you might feel a mild shock.
Alright, thanks for the warning.
It's nice to have a willing pair of hands to assist me. Tyrus seems well acquainted with instruments like these. He could make a real contribution if he wasn't so set on observing all the time. I wish I could convince him to help. Ah, well.
Of course, yeah, but we already know it does. Serious?
Well, aren't you supposed to be helping Revis with this folly?
Revis says you know a lot about this, so why aren't you helping?
Know a lot. I'd barely left the cradle when I erected my first arcane pylon. But if you're asking me to assist Revis in this buffoonery, I'd sooner put trousers on a Vardvark. It's just as fruitless, but infinitely more adorable.
It sounds like sounds to me that it might be about beyond your abilities after all. Then
I suppose that's your attempt at being clever. Very well, I'll rise to the bait. The sooner we're done with this, the better. Know this, however. I'll not employ his silly whack-a-hackwing methodology. Witness a true mage in action.
all right, let's see what happens.
If you're quite finished, Revis. An artless configuration, to be sure. Balancing the crystal resonance is simple enough. There, a perfect calibration. Much good may it do you.
It's working. Just a moment more and... What? Why isn't it... Good grief! Damn it all! I triple-checked the pylons last night. I field-tested the rooms. I've read everything Barrelzar's ever written aside from his fetching diary, and it still doesn't work. Still! Why won't it work? It needs to work!
Did we do something wrong?
No. No! You followed my instructions to the letter, and I practically killed myself proving out the theories in my laboratory back home. Literally. My eyebrows only recently grew back. It can't just be bad luck. I must have missed something.
It's something like what?
Something in Veyond. Some arcane anomaly that disrupts the function of pylons. Of course, the ruin I choose to work in suffers from some heretofore unseen pylon scrambling hocus pocus. Just another day in the life of Revis Demnavani.
Okay, what can we do to fix it then?
Well, we need to find the source of the disturbance. Take Tyrus and explore the lower chambers. It shouldn't take him long to identify the culprit. Just make sure to keep him safe. If anything happens to him, my Kwama is well and truly cooked.
All right, I'll help Terrace find the source of the interference then.
Right. I'll stay here and inspect the instruments. Again. If I didn't find any flaws the first 3 times, I doubt I'll find any now. But who knows? Maybe Tyrus is right. Maybe this is just a huge waste of time.
Well, he thinks it's a waste of time, but what do you think?
What do I think? What does that matter? The Telvanni Council detests my work on duemitonal mechanics. They want nothing to do with my study of rare eggs. The Phantasmal sensor is the only thing I've ever created that won their approval.
Is getting their approval that important?
Really that important? Well, of course it is. I'm a member of House Telvanni, for Vex's sake. If the Council drums me out, what would I do? Who would I share my theories with? No, once that door closes, it closes forever.
Mage's Guild, maybe?
It's unthinkable.
Do you really think this Phantasmal sensor work will change their opinion of you?
Absolutely. Yes. Maybe. I don't know, but I have to try. Would I rather be poking around in a dwarven ruin, unraveling the mysteries of tonal architecture? Yes, but no one ever said arcane practice always leads to excitement.
Curious, you follow me?
Well, let's get this farce underway.
All right. Well, this mage knows how to sink.
Veyond didn't depict this tunnel. Vex head. Be on your guard. Trolls! Hideous savage beast! Keep that brute away from me!
Yeah, just keep it down, keep it down.
There, in the distance, more alien masonry. Finally, no more mucking around the dirt like some clumsy salt rice farmer.
See, we didn't even fight to get you dirty, huh? How good is that?
There's a strange aura on the other side of this door. Can you feel it? Oh, what am I saying? Of course you can't.
Of course you can. I'm playing a video game. We don't have touch feedback.
Finally. Now then, these Vala stones are clouded. Some manner of arcane erosion. They must be the source of Revis's trouble. Destroying them in this state could generate an explosive burst of magicka, and draining their power is no small feat. Unless, of course, you happen to be me. Smash away, hero, and let's get out of this place.
Tiris, the interference. I think it may come from clouded...
Vala stones? Indeed. The help and I already dealt with them. You're welcome.
Oh, well, thank you. Wait, does anyone else feel that?
Intruders? Get out! Get out!
A spirit. Stand back, both of you. It's time for a true test of the Phantasmal sensor.
Get it away from me! Back, you creature! I mean it!
Wait, Tiris! No! Ah! Oblivion, take me, he's dead! Tiris is dead! This is a catastrophe! What are we gonna do?
Wait. Hold on, slow down. What happened?
I tried to use the Phantasmal sensor to quiet that alien specter, but Tiris panicked and started to banish it with his own magic. His banishing spell mixed with the sensor's power and whoosh, snuffed out like a candle. I'm doomed!
Sure he's dead? You just vanished, right?
Just vanished. Yeah, sure, just vanished. To the afterlife! This is classic Revis, you know. I'm a pox. I'll just need a moment to think about what I'm going to tell the house about Tiris and the sensor, wherever it flew off to.
I'll find the sensor. You take a moment. Relax.
What is happening to me?
Oh, Tiris. Even now I can hear him in my mind, haunting me.
Nope. In the sensor, you know.
I can hear Tiris's cries like he's right here beside me. I deserve it, don't I? A shameful, ghostly reminder of my failure.
No, I can hear it too.
You do? Then he either torments us both or it's some spectral echo. A disembodied voice, sheared from his body like chitin from a quama. Perfect. I came to silence ghosts and just made another one. This is all my fault.
Maybe we should follow the good voice?
What's the point? It's not as if we can gather up screams and cobwebs and put him back together again. He was a person, not a teacup. If you want to pursue that voice, feel free. I imagine you'll be safer without me. Tiris certainly was.
Stop getting down on yourself so much. To infinity and beyond!
I can't. Help me! Use the sensor!
Tiris, he's not gone after all. Please forgive me, Sarah. While I was wallowing in self-pity, you were out here trying to clean up my mess. And by the three, Tiris still lives. Or exists at any rate. What happened when you found him?
Nobody used a sensor. Then he disappeared.
Along with the clouded Vala stones. Interesting. The sensor might have prompted some kind of animus inversion. The specifics can wait. Whatever happened, he's still aware of his surroundings. You might be able to fix this.
How do we do that?
We? No. I've done enough damage. I'll come along, offer scholarly advice and such. But you're the only person I trust to see this through. The first step is finding Tiris. His soul seems bound to the ruin and these stones.
Okay, how do we find him?
The clouded Vala stones are sort of thickening the magical fabric of this place. A soul like Tiris's would cause ripples. Allow me to make a small modification to the sensor. There. If you use it now, it should illuminate Tiris's path.
You sure you don't want to do this yourself? You created it, after all.
I've proven beyond shadow of a doubt that I can't be trusted with that thing. For anyone who is not me, using the sensor is quite simple. Activate it, and a mote of spectral energy should coast toward Tiris. Just follow the mote.
Okay. What do we do when you find Tiris?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Best to focus on navigating the ruin. I seriously doubt that Veyond's shown us all its nasty surprises.
Alright, let's go.
light! The clouded light! It calls!
As my moat.
Hurry! I can't any longer!
Tyrus, and more clouded Vala stones. By the 3. Were the aliens selling them wholesale? I'll probably regret this, but I'll try to attune the stones. You push them out of position. Maybe that will set him free.
No! Not enough!
I know that did not look like a success, but I think I know what's happening.
What's happening?
These clouded Vala stones. The aliens wouldn't have carved imperfect stones in this quantity by accident. There's intention here. They're meant to attract spectral energy like moths to a flame. That's why we keep finding Tyrus among them.
How does this help us save him, though?
Well, it doesn't just yet, but we're definitely onto something. The sensor can banish the stones, and my attunement spell can stabilize them long enough to dislodge them safely. You are one step closer to fixing this.
So what do you do now?
You? What do you do now? Keep tracking Tyrus.
Why is it always me?
I'll try to puzzle out a way to use the sensor and attunement spell to restore Tyrus's corporeal form. We have to move quickly, though. If we don't reach him soon, critical animus decay might set in.
That sounds bad.
That's because it is bad. Let's pick up the pace, all right?
All right, let's keep on searching. Up we go. That way. This way. Uh-oh.
Over there! It's Tyrus!
It's so close!
Tyrus?
I think I know what's going on.
Going on then.
Tyrus is trying to resist the pull of the clouded Vala stones, but his strength is waning. Luckily, he's running into these smaller stone clusters, sort of like falling out of a tree and hitting all the branches on the way down.
So where will we end up?
I'm wagering there is a greater load of this clouded glass somewhere in the ruin. A stockpile or something that dwarfs these other Vala stones in size, potency, or both. Tyrus should eventually find himself there.
What happens when he reaches the load?
I can't imagine it will be pleasant, but with enough of the clouded glass in one place, we might be able to create a large enough resonance to restore Tyrus's corporeal form. You using the Phantasmal sensor, and me using the attunement spell.
You're gonna help then?
I have to. Without my attunement spell, the sensor could banish Tyrus for good. I can't hide from this forever. I am a mage. Hapless and clumsy, perhaps, but a mage all the same. I owe it to Tyrus, to you, and to myself to try.
Alright, let's find Tyrus then.
This plan will work, right?
Nope.
Of course it will work.
Maybe.
Just follow that moat.
I guess it's something. Oh, you need much better with the spirits.
I am.
Much
It
better
might be a
spirits
bit
then.
morbid, but all this dashing around and puzzle solving, it's why I love being a wizard. I'd nearly forgotten that with Tyrus and House Telvanni pushing me around. We all have to follow our bliss, right? Mine's in old ruins.
Alright. Probably have to do this fight. I don't think I can sneak by these two. Damn, almost totally fightless. Almost.
Aeom's mercy. Tyrus is fading faster. Quickly, just smash these stones and we'll hope for the best. There. Now, use the sensor. We have to find the central load.
What keeps detecting me? The moat? Crevice? Eerie?
This is it. Vex's head. It's not a cluster of glass. It's an entire well. All right. Let's go over the plan. We were looking for a pile of clouded glass, and instead, we found a limitless font of unstable magicka. Shame we have to destroy it. But let's be honest. I would have found a way to accidentally destroy it before long. Are you ready to save Tyrus?
Yep, what do we need to do?
First, we need to replicate the original event. Aim the Phantasmal sensor at him and unleash its power. While you're doing that, I'll cast the attunement spell. Weaving the two together should dislodge his animus and restore his corporeal form.
How confident are you?
Much less confident than you'd like.
All right.
If it's any consolation, most magisters aren't certain of a hypothesis until they test it. Our test just happens to have the potential for cataclysmic results.
Cataclysmic.
Discharging spells and jangling magic sensors in front of an unstable well could prove explosive. But nothing is certain. Magic is more art than science. At least that's what I tell myself in situations like this.
And the chances that this goes wrong?
7 in 10, give or take. You've faced worse odds before, though. Right? Come on, hero. Let's do some heroing.
All right.
It's working. We did it. Tyrus, are you all right?
Revis!
Hey.
I am alive. Oh, thank you. Aeom's mercy, I thought I was dead. I never should have cast that. But the ghost was there and I just panicked.
Oh, dear. There, Tyrus. Why don't we head back to camp, all right?
Yeah, you're scarred for life, aren't you?
I owe you such an apology. I could see everything you and Revis did. No one has ever looked out for me before. Thank you.
Revis?
Well, this is unexpected. I thought for sure he tried to strangle me or something. Let's make our way back to the surface.
All right, go. Everything just went full circle. All right. Back to camp.
I'm writing the Magister straight away, Revis. You'll receive accolades aplenty.
Oh, that's, very generous, Tyrus. Thank you.
Okay.
I'll be sure to mention your role in my rescue, too. The death of a Terethi is a valuable thing, especially one who will one day become a Magister.
Hey.
Well, this is unexpected. I'd resolved to spend the rest of my life in exile, but now Tyrus is singing my praises. Do you think he hit his head or something? I guess anyone can have a change of heart when they have a brush with fate like this.
So what happens now?
Hopefully, Tyrus's testimonial will earn me some latitude with House Telvanni. Not enough to rise in rank, mind you, but enough to keep them off my back for a while. None of this would have been possible without you. Thank you, Sarah. Safe travels, my friend. And if you ever find yourself in Nisus, feel free to drop by.
You're planning to go back to Morrowind?
As soon as I can, yes. The censor was always a means to an end. Tyrus's letter should give me the boost I need to continue my real work. Rare eggs, dwarven machines, vegetable conjuring, all the bizarre obsessions that House Telvanni scorned.
Really Tyrus's letter is going to solidify your position? All those experiments, by the way.
Ha! No, no. I'm far too clumsy to evade the Telvanni Council's contempt for long. But we have to treasure the time we have, right? I'm sure I'll make some really worthy discoveries before they start nosing around in my work again.
Tyrus.
Either three, this whole business really opened my eyes. I always thought true wizardry happened in the laboratories and libraries of Tel Naga. But magic is messy. It's dangerous. A second's hesitation can mean death. Revis taught me that.
Is that really what you want an archmage to be thinking? Well, it really seems like it changed your outlook.
How could it not? When faced with even the slightest peril, I panicked. Rather than listening to my teacher, I cast a spell that turned my animus inside out. An experience like that would change anyone. Then there's the matter of my rescue.
What do you mean?
Any other Telvanni wizard would have left me there without a moment's hesitation. House politics are cruel, but when faced with the prospect of death or professional ruin, Revis saved me anyway. I can guarantee you, I would not have done the same.
You gonna share this lesson with anyone else?
I will try. Members of House Telvanni are stubborn, but true greatness comes from learning. This was a difficult but necessary lesson.
Oh, have a good one, Tyrus and Revis.